Ready with the Red Stag super middleweight tail of the tape. Joe Gardner, 11-6-1 with one knockout, weighing 168 pounds, standing at 6 feet 1 inch from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. His opponent, Russell LaMour, 4-0 with 2 knockouts, 166 pounds, sitting at 6 feet 2 inches from Portland, Maine. Now to the center of the ring with the official fighter introductions. Let's head down. We'll talk with Bill Carpenter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Red Stag and Jim Beam bout, scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing. Super middleweights. Your referee for this contest is Joey Lupino. Introducing the blue corner first. He's wearing the red trunks with black trim. He weighed in at 166 pounds. Undefeated as a professional. 4 wins, no losses. 2 wins coming by knockout victory. He comes to us tonight from Portland, Maine. Please welcome the Haitian sensation, Russell LaMour Jr. To my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the camouflage trunks. He tipped the scales at exactly 168 pounds. His professional record shows 11 wins with 6 losses, fighting out of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Joe Gardner. Referee Joey Lupino with final instructions.
Ready with this highly anticipated super middleweight bout. Joey Gardner, 11-6-1 with 1 knockout, 37 years old, weighed in at 168 pounds from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. His original opponent was hurt last weekend in sparring. Enter Russell LaMour Jr., the Haitian sensation, 4-0 with 2 knockouts, 29 years old. Weighed in yesterday at 166 pounds from Portland, Maine. He actually fought last Friday, a week ago yesterday, and won by first round knockout over pro debut Angolino Brandeo at 1:46 seconds of the very first round. Pat Sullivan joined by Mike Parenta here on the broadcast, brought to you by Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports. Mike, your thoughts here on the fight before we get into too much action?
Well, it's going to be a tough one for Joe Gardner, really stepping up at the last minute, actually taking an increase in strength of opponent in Russell LaMour, originally set to fight Alex Mancera, as you mentioned. LaMour 4-0 with 2 knockouts, but does have semi-pro experience in the World Series of Boxing, a very tough international tournament. The fighters did not wear headgear or chest protective gear, so LaMour has a little bit more experience than you would believe by his record. This is definitely a step up, in all honesty, for both guys. A good step for Russell LaMour and a good step for Joe Gardner as well.
Joe Gardner coming off a close split decision loss to Rich Gingras. Coincidentally enough, Rich Gingras fighting in tonight's main event for Vladimir Biasi's New England super middleweight title. Gotta wonder if Gardner had won that fight against Rich Gingras, whether he would have got a shot at that title. He actually fought Vladimir when he first came back into boxing after a pretty substantial layoff. A fight which Vladimir won, but both fighters have come a long way in their career since then, so that certainly could have been an interesting matchup. Regardless, Gardner dropped the split decision to Rich Gingras and now finds himself in here with Russell LaMour. You gotta love the tenacity of Russell LaMour to take a fight in back-to-back weekends.
Gardner's made a nice living in recent years, Pat, fighting on the outside, being crafty, doesn't really press the action much. You'll see more of Russell LaMour being the aggressor in this fight. Gardner's going to try to counterpunch and stay on the outside, and that's where he can win. And where he ran into trouble against Rich Gingras is when Gingras got close and got on the inside, Gardner really didn't have the strength to counterpunch with him. That's what he's going to do against LaMour. He's going to keep him away from him and work the outside of the ring. If he does that, he's got a shot.
Russell LaMour had a knockout win in his pro debut back in 2012. Then won back-to-back unanimous decisions over 3-0 Luis Viramontes and 7-7 Eddie Caminero. And then, of course, his knockout win last Friday against Angolino Brandeo.
Yeah, Joe Gardner came out beforehand and said that LaMour hasn't really had it as tough as he has. There's some truth to that. Gardner has certainly stepped up in recent years to fight tough fights.
Well, Mike, you look at the fighters that Joey Gardner has lost to, Rich Gingras, Vladimir Biasi, who are both in the main event tonight. He also lost to Brian Barboza, Elvin Ayala, Sean Estrada. A combined record of 81-17 for the fighters that have beaten Joe Gardner. He had a 3-fight win streak going into that bout with Rich Gingras that was obviously snapped by that loss. End of round number 1. We head in the corner of Russell LaMour Jr.
He's going to the ropes. He's bending underneath, uppercut hook, all right? And then back down there to 5. Don't be reaching with that 2. You're reaching too much. Take a deep breath. Tonight, join studios at the CES down, up. The hook is wide open for so many things. You're too slow. You're not cutting the ring down enough. Stop by the 12 Studios room for pictures and autographs with tonight's balls. It's all the famous experience. Stop by tonight. Now get after it. Okay? Come on. More intense on the inside. Take that bucket.
Round number 2. The scheduled 6. You heard LaMour's corner trying to tell him to be more aggressive. Joe Gardner from 2002 to 2003 went 4-0-1. Then took over 7 years off. And then he lost the fight to Vladimir Biasi on his comeback trail, then won 3 in a row. And as I mentioned, he won 3 in a row again right before his last fight, a split decision loss. So Gardner, a fighter who certainly doesn't back down to any opponent, regardless of venue, location, record, age, weight. He's about as tough as they come, and certainly willing to get in the ring with anybody. Taking a fight with Russell LaMour on, well, really 5 or 6 days' notice is no small task, but Gardner did it without hesitation. Round 2 of a scheduled 6. Minute 30 to go here in round number 2. Joe Gardner in the camouflage shorts and the black gloves. Russell LaMour Jr. in the red trunks with the black trim and the white gloves. They're in the final minute of round number 2. Missed uppercut there, and Joe Gardner comes right back. Joey Lupino might have his hands full in this fight if Gardner and LaMour keep throwing punches to the back of the head every time they tie up. Nice straight right there by Russell LaMour. Missed on the shot to the body, came back nicely with a overhand right. And there you see coming back down to the body, and Joe Gardner doing a good job of tying up. Final 10 seconds to go. You see a cut opening up under LaMour's right eye. End of round number 2. We're a third of the way through this super middleweight battle. It's still anybody's fight. Heading over to Joe Gardner's corner. Ted Panagianis working on a little swelling under Joe Gardner's right eye. Let's hear what the instructions. Ready for round number 3. Referee Joe Lupino went into Joe Gardner's corner and expressed to his coaches to tell Gardner to stop holding. See if he takes heed of the warning. Round 3, you see LAMOUR being a little more active here to start this round. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Gardner goes back into the ropes. Joey Lupino breaking the two fighters up once again. Lupino being very active here in the first 3 rounds. Ray Gardner's corner in between rounds, telling him to open up that cut under LAMOUR's eye. Not much done to that eye since. And again, Lupino having to break the 2 fighters up. LAMOUR undefeated, 4-0 with 2 knockouts. Gardner 11-6-1 with 1 knockout. This is his 19th fight as a professional boxer. A little more experience than LAMOUR, only in his 5th pro fight. Russell's corner, urging him to let his hands go, put together a combination. A little over a minute to go here in round number 3. Scheduled 6-round fight between Gardner and LAMOUR. Gardner in the camouflage shorts. Fought many times here at the Twin River Event Center. Had much success here. LAMOUR, his first time fighting here in the state of Rhode Island. 30 seconds to go here in round number 3. LAMOUR put together a good combination, but Gardner does a good job of ducking just underneath that right hook, which would have ended the combination. Final seconds to go. Gardner again ducking down on LAMOUR. A few good shots. He's going to have to go to the neutral corner. Joe Lupino's going to count as Gardner hit the canvas. End of the round. Joe Lupino asked Gardner to walk towards him. He's going to let the fight continue. That's about, we're halfway through the fight, and in under 10 seconds to go, Gardner gets hit with a right down to the canvas.
Don't take any time off. All right?
Please welcome tonight's sponsor, Jim Beam. Made using a secret recipe for more than 200 years. The world's #1 Kentucky bourbon is American bourbon. Discover Jim Beam.
Ready with round number 4. We're halfway through this 6-round fight between Russell LAMOUR Jr., the Haitian sensation in the red trunks. Just scored a knockdown at the end of round number 3. His opponent, Joey Gardner from nearby Woonsocket, Rhode Island, 37 years old with a record of 11-6-1, 1 knockout and 11 victories. Gardner winning 3 fights in a row. Had that streak stopped in his last bout, a split decision loss to Rich Gingras. Now trying to get back on the winning track. He's going to have some work to do. Having been knocked down the last fight in there, the last round, you see LAMOUR come back with a nice right hand. See if LAMOUR can apply a little bit more pressure and either knock Gardner down again or take him out of this fight. Another break there by the referee, Joey Lupino. LAMOUR's done a good job defending that cut, and his corner's done a good job to close it. It opened up in about the middle of the second round and unfazed really in the third. Minute 40 to go here in round number 4 of a scheduled 6. A very even matchup brought to you by Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports, the promoter, of course, Jimmy Birchfield, and the matchmaker, Michael Parenti.
Work your way out, guys. Hands are free. Work it.
Minute 10 seconds to go here in round number 4. LAMOUR continues to be aggressive and almost knocks Gardner through the ropes. Final minute to go. Can LAMOUR have the same ending to this round as he had in last? Now the cut open again. Now dripping down the right side of LAMOUR's face. Lupino again interrupts the fight. 30 seconds to go here in round number 4. About 2/3 of the way through this super middleweight bout. Gardner again tying up with LAMOUR. Lupino halts the action. 22 seconds to go. LAMOUR controlling the center of the ring. Goes back to the body. Gardner with his shoulders on the ropes. LAMOUR again applying the pressure, and Joey Gardner has to take a knee. Final seconds of the round, back-to-back rounds. Gardner hits the canvas. This one looked a little more intentional in his part, taking the knee. Have to see the replay to be sure. Gardner tells Joey Lupino he's okay. Fighters head back to their corners. What a turn of events at the very final seconds of round number 3 and 4. Russell LAMOUR delivering the shots to send Joe Gardner down to the canvas. Now you see that cut there on Russell LAMOUR. Pretty deep cut.
I got the holding. All right? You watch the holding too, though.
Now here's what I want. Back to basics, okay? Hands up high and use the jab and set up. I don't want you to just counter punch. Okay, set up your own stuff.
Here we go with round number 5. We are 2/3 of the way through this fight. Joe Gardner staring at back-to-back 10-8 rounds after being knocked down in the final 10 seconds of each round. See how aggressive Joe has to be here in the final 2 rounds, and they go and they clash heads. So Gardner appears to be more shaken up than LAMOUR. LAMOUR with a pretty deep cut under his right eye. LAMOUR with 2 knockouts in 4 pro fights. Gardner with 1 knockout in 11 fights. Nice shot there by LAMOUR. Stopped Gardner right in his tracks. And then Joe Lupino has to step in again to break up the action. LAMOUR really trying to go for that shot. Trying to take Gardner out of action here. Again, Gardner's been in the ring with some of the best fighters not only around but in the world, including Sean Estrada, Elvin Ayala, and of course both main event fighters for tonight, Vladimir Biasi and Rich Gingras. Little over a minute to go in round number 5. Under a minute to go here in round number 5 of a scheduled 6. Gardner facing back-to-back rounds in which he hit the canvas in the final 10 seconds of each round. See if LAMOUR has that same magic here as we approach the final 30 seconds. Gardner now maybe trying to steal this round here in the last 30 seconds. Gardner coming forward. LAMOUR does a good job escaping any potential danger. Lupino steps in the middle. Gardner now with a cut. Could be from the headbutts. And once again, in the final 10 seconds of the round, Gardner heads to the canvas 3 rounds in a row. Referee Joe Lupino is going to let Joe Gardner continue, but 3 rounds in a row. Joey Lupino requesting the doctor to come up. We're going to check this replay here. Big left followed by a big right there by LAMOUR, sends him down into the ropes. And from there, it was just gravity that took Gardner down to the mat.
3 more minutes.
3 rounds in a row.
What's today's date? I gotta ask you.
7/27.
That's HUB Boxing.
It's okay. It's okay. He wants to go on around. I think it's okay.
Doctor's going to let him compete for 3 more minutes.
Come on, what do you feel? He hits one more time. I don't think he should go on, but I'll give him one more shot.
How many times did you get knocked out? 4 times already?
3 times. Yeah, but.
We got it. He's good.
All right, go.
Seconds out.
Finish this.
Doctor's going to let Joe Gardner continue here. Gonna love the heart on Joe Gardner. After 2 even rounds, he gets knocked down 3 rounds in a row in the final 10 seconds. Facing a mountain here on the scorecards and still wants to go out for 3 more minutes and continue this fight. Referee Joe Lupino did say he gets hit in the head one more time like that and he's stopping the fight. I think LAMOUR senses that. And he certainly wants to get the knockout here. Anytime you knock a fighter down 3 rounds in a row, consistently like that, you're going to want to get the knockout to finish and not just a decision. Big shot there by LAMOUR, and that's it. Referee Joe Lupino steps in. Russell LAMOUR, a big, big victory here at the Twin River Event Center, Joe Gardner's hometown. He improves to 5-0 with 3 knockouts. Joe Gardner falls to 11-7-1. What a performance here tonight by the Haitian sensation. 3 rounds in a row. Less than 10 seconds to go. And LAMOUR knocks Gardner down to the canvas. And that was it in the final round. Joey Gardner was warned by referee Joey Lupino, you get hit in the head one more time and I'm stepping in. And that's certainly what happened. He got hit by another good shot there by Russell LAMOUR. You can see the frustration on Joe Gardner's face. Now we look at the replay. And we see Gardner absorbing a lot of shots here, and a big right hand there by LAMOUR sends him down. And again, Gardner able to stay up, and really it just was a constant flurry of punches there by LAMOUR that had Joe Lupino step in for the official time of the stoppage. Let's head down to the center of the ring with the ring announcer Bill Carpenter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time is 38 seconds of round number 6. Referee Joey Lupino calls a halt to the action. Your winner by TKO, the Haitian sensation, Russell LAMOUR Jr.
There you have it. Russell LaMour Jr., the Haitian sensation, improves to 5-0 with 3 knockouts on his young and very promising career. Back-to-back weekend victories for LaMour. Joey Gardner falls to 11-7-1. What a performance by LaMour Jr. Rounds 3 through 5. Knockdowns at the very end of all of them, and of course the final punch coming there at 38 seconds of round number 6. Russell LaMour again victorious by knockout.